Let me ask you a question. What if you love doing something very passionately and are willing to put in the hard work to be successful, but gradually you realize that you lack the talent that you have to be at the top of your craft? What if you never succeed at your favorite thing? Chaitanya Tamhane's second film, The Disciple, deals with similar kinds of questions. Questions along the lines of self-doubt, polarizing conflicts, artistic mediocrity, and many more. While the film is set in the backdrop of Hindustani classical music, the overall theme is quite universal. Some call it just a boring work of lazy camera placements, while others call it a film filled with creativity and beautiful composition. Let's dive deeper to find an answer. The film follows the journey of Sharad, an aspiring Hindustani classical musician learning Khyal Sangeet, a kind of music that depends heavily on practice, technicalities, and improvisation. Sharad, magnificently played by the debutant Aditya Modak, is a student of Hindustani classical music, an art form which demands a high level of spiritual purity that singers could spend a lifetime on trying to achieve. Throughout the film, we see him meditatively listening to rare tapes of Maestro Sindhubai Zadav, respectfully called Mai, who guides him through the chaos of his internal conflict. The Mumbai shown in these shots is very different from what all we know the city for. Every shot of him listening to Mai's lecture has the camera following him, and we, as the audience, follow his thought process. Sharad doesn't wake up one day and declare that he is never going to sing Hindustani classical music. Rather, the realization grows on him very slowly, a kind of realization that he never wanted to be confronted with ever. This realization of being mediocre at your craft in spite of trying your level best is something that holds universally true. Tamhane bonds the universal element of fading of a dream with the uncertainty of Sharad's future in classical music. He is constantly reminded of his incapabilities by his surroundings without the use of dialogues. The wise words of his idol Mai do not seem to connect to Sharad's reality as time passes. He keeps getting further and further away from his dream, the dream of being a successful classical musician. The camera zooms in on Sharad on 3 separate but quite specific occasions. At the beginning of the film, when we are introduced to him, the camera serves as a path into his soul. We are about to see his dedication and perseverance towards his passion for classical music. On the second occasion, we witness Sharad failing in front of his Guruji, the failure which heightens his frustration. The last time that we see the camera zoom in on him is when he's done donating Mai's recordings to an art library, and in the upcoming scenes changing himself to become a better person. The exact zoom in occurs during one of Guruji's last performances. The scene in itself describes his psyche as well as the current state of Hindustani classical music. As the film progresses into the next half, we get to see an older, paunchier, and altogether slightly altered Sharad. Physically and emotionally transformed, he has become a classical music teacher, but nobody seems to be calling him a guru. The idea of doing nothing else except practicing till the age of 40 isn't pursued by him. Even the city of Mumbai has changed. While the first half was filled with slow, calming shots of the silent, unusual Mumbai, the very first glimpse of the city in the second half is this. The rounded, old-fashioned, small-sized houses have been replaced by tall concrete blocks. Not calming at all, don't you think? Another thing that grabs the viewer's attention is the technology. The film jumps between time periods without the use of a title card or any other specific distinction. The one major thing that helps us keep a track of the time period is technology. Mobile phones, televisions, telephones, radios, computers, and not to forget, the internet. Almost every conversation in the film has a technological device in the shot. And while the technology has improved in modern times everywhere else, there is only one place that is still stuck in 2006. Coming back to Sharad, we don't see him too happy about himself. While his talented peers have made it big internationally, Sharad is still stuck in his grandmother's home, a dark, lonely room that hasn't changed much since the last decade or so, much like Sharad's internal conflict. As for his late-night cocoonish rides, a crucial thing happens. The slow motion abruptly ends, and we get sucked back into reality as the camera no longer follows Sharad. He consciously decides to distance himself from Mai. The commercialization of art in the context of the film proves to leave a positive impact. Due to an immensely huge surge in the number of internet users, classical music is able to reach more people. Websites, YouTube, etc. allow the artist to showcase themselves to a wider audience. But did everyone like the commercialized art form? More specifically, did classical music itself ask to reach a wider audience? A polarizing answer is witnessed by Sharad himself. Sharad observes the gradual commercialization of a classical music contestant who auditions for a talent-based reality TV show. He witnesses the girl first getting selected due to her melodious voice while singing classical music, but in the coming scenes, the distance between her original classical music identity and commercial success keeps on increasing. It raises an important question in Sharad's mind, which very clearly flashes on his face. Is that the price that one has to pay to be able to sell his craft commercially? During the last appearance of her character, she's soaked in makeup, dressed in a very western way, and singing let's listen to it together, shall we?
मुस्कानें झूठी हैं, पहचानें झूठी हैं, रंगीनी है छाई, फिर भी है तन्हाई.
It's very fascinating to see the amount of research and time that was put in by Chaitanya Tamhane to make this film, considering that half a decade ago he was an absolute stranger to this kind of music and environment.
The honest truth is that I don't know how this bug kind of bit me. I know that I was, when I was younger, I wasn't really a fan of the setting and the music because of certain things that I saw around, this world, because I saw extreme reverence. I saw submission, to your guru or to your elders. And, as a young person, I thought that, I don't know, it's too traditional for my taste.
From casting non-professional actors who are attached to classical music in real life to designing the reality TV show featured in the film by himself. Even the model and the perfume that displays on the billboard for barely a second or two were crafted by Chaitanya himself. And the realistic setting doesn't stop here. The Facebook profiles exist outside of the film along with the YouTube videos that were part of the shooting schedule, while the comments were tweaked in the post-production. No wonder the film traveled around the festival circuit and even won the Best Screenplay, Fipresci, and the Golden SLA Award at the Venice Film Festival. The film presents an array of questions and emotions. Some are answered, some are felt, but a lot of them aren't answered, or better put, left for the audience to decide. What did it all mean? Was Sharad successful in the end? Was he happy? What was the definition of success for him? Did he fulfill his dreams at all?
कुवेरे किनारे अबदू इमली सी बाई रे कुवेरे किनारे अबदू इमली सी बाई रे ओ जारो पेड़ मछलियाँ छायो हेलो कुवेरे किनारे अबदू इमली सी बाई रे ओ जारो पेड़ मछलियाँ छायो हेलो कुवेरे किनारे अबदू इमली सी बाई